Hello world, welcome back to Accelerate and welcome back to the Astra VXR build.
Today we're doing meth.
Yay!
No, not that kind.
Oh.
This kind of meth.
Right, what is it?
This is a AEM Performance Electronics methanol injection kit.
This gets talked about a lot on the internet. I'm sure a lot of people think, like I said before, people think it's NOS where you just press a button and it goes
Yes, and you go like the Fast and Furious, everything goes...
yeah, everything goes blurry and you do about 100 miles an hour. But it's not. It's mainly the main benefit, the reason we're using it is for cooling.
Yes. As we stated, back onto the mapping video,
Yeah.
we were getting a lot of heat from, obviously, the turbo producing a lot of heat. I was told by Ped at the time,
Yep.
go meth! So we have!
Yeah, so massive thanks to Gav Morris, a massive supporter of ours. We said in the previous video, he wanted to give it to you.
He was like, "Yeah, you can have it," and I said, "Look, Gav, I appreciate it, but I don't want to just take it."
He does so much for us anyway,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
he's really supportive.
That's it. So yeah,
AEM is one of the most popular brands. That's why I'm glad you're doing this, because I'm probably going to want to do this to one of my cars. So I'm glad. I like AEM stuff. Never come into car, and I've seen loads of cars running them. So
yeah, we know it's quality stuff. So as you can see, it's still in the box. He's had it for a few years. But it's never.
And it should state we have never done anything to do with meth. Apparently, it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, thankfully, we've never touched meth. But this is all new to us. So if we do it wrong, hey ho, we do it wrong. Let us know in the comments.
Once again, yeah, we do the stupid crap, so you don't have to.
Yeah, I looked at the corner of my eye, and if you haven't seen the previous video, what is that?
Big wang.
Oh, my finger looked really weird then as well. Yeah, so we'll do.
We're doing unboxing. Yeah. So you get this is the actual hose that runs from the pump. Because you get two different hoses. This is the one stuff that runs from the pump to the nozzle, which you fit in the engine bay.
So it is like NOS, isn't it? Where you got a little nozzle and you got the
yeah, I bought a couple of little switches and stuff. So.
Oh yeah.
So this is the wiring for it. Now that looks scary, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But I think it is. I did say 7, but I think it's 2, 10.
What are you lying for?
But yeah, they are pretty basic, to be honest.
And they're all
obviously you've got and
they're
all different colours. Thank God. You get a bit of tubing, obviously protection.
Nice.
For your protection. This is boost hose because you need that to run from a boost vacuum line.
I need that for my Civic. My Civic hasn't got boost, so if I run some of that,
you'll have boost.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, you get that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just daydreaming.
This is the gallon, 1.15 gallon tank system. So you get.
I like this. Do you know when you run NOS and people show off the bottles, they're like, oh, it's got NOS. I feel like that's what meth. That's what that container is for meth. When you open the boot and see that, it's like, oh, respect.
Yes. So this is they do actually a bigger one, which I might upgrade to later on because I don't know if we might just run this constant.
Just because you can.
Just because I can. Yeah. So yeah, Methanol is available online. I found a company that does it like 50 quid for 20 litres. So that's obviously 4 of those. And
we should state there's different ways of running it, and this is why we've got the controllers and stuff like that. It's not like petrol. It doesn't run constantly every time you drive the car.
No.
You can set it to boost and
start at
a
certain boost and then be at full operational power at another boost setting. So really it's all controllable. Stuff, yeah, exactly. No, it's down to Ped to sort out. So
that's all right then. That sounded very technical.
Yeah, we're not doing that. So yeah, you've got this sensor that is in here, which is a level sensor, because obviously you want to know when it's running low, which comes with an indicator light, which you've got to fit.
Oh.
So yeah, you got a little light coming on dash, tells you if the water's low. That's brilliant. Cool. So obviously you don't want to be running out boosting if you're mapped without various map.
Are you going to have to run 2 separate maps?
I don't think I can. That's why I'm saying I might just run it constant.
Right, okay.
So obviously I'm not sure. I know you can run 2 separate maps on these.
Yeah, because I thought like if it runs out, does it just run out? Or
it'll run out and obviously you'll get detonation knock. So yeah, this is why you've got a little indication light. Okay. But this is why also you can buy things that prevent it. AEM do supply different things. There is one of the wires that goes somewhere in the ECU. It's like a boost sensor, so if it'll like just cut off, it'll cut boost, so you won't damage your engine. Now that wire we can't fit today because I don't know where it goes. If you guys do know, it's a green wire off the harness that's got to go somewhere. Please let us know.
Right, yeah.
Otherwise, Ped's gonna know.
True. Yeah, yeah.
I've just put him on the spot now.
No.
So yeah, anyway, so yeah, that's where that plastic hard line goes on the bottom of there.
That's your feed then, obviously. Yes.
Yep, that's your feed. You obviously get some electrical connectors, some cable ties, and there's your little LED status light.
Okay. So you will get to play with the drill today then?
Yes, can't wait. That Gav's, I think they're off his seats, but he said have them anyway.
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So we got some other rubber stuff.
Oh, they're chunky.
Don't know what that's for either.
We'll find out.
This is the little controller that you get with the AEM. AEM. They do other kits that don't come with a little controller like this. So this is another beauty of the AEM kit.
Okay, yeah.
So,
oh wow,
look at that. So you set it like to start spraying like lightly at say 9-10 psi, and then you set it down here and it'll be at like full spray at say 17 psi, 17.5 psi, because obviously this boosts about 24-25 psi.
Right.
So yeah, you want it flowing when you come on to boost.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, that's obviously where it goes, and you've got a status light there, so it'll tell you what it does by flashing different ways.
I remember seeing that in Lee's Evo.
Ah, okay.
It was I remember him saying, watch the little light, and when you boot it from low rate, you see it is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is the sensor which goes onto the, the plug that goes onto the level sensor.
Yep.
So that's 2 wires. 4 wires is just this and the little LED status one.
Sorry, my nerves are calming down.
Yep. And then there's the nozzle that you've got to fit. Obviously, like I said, you run that hard line all the way to this, under the engine, under the bonnet. This then gets mounted 6 to 8 inches away from your throttle body.
Literally into the intake pipe, isn't it?
Just into the intake pipe, yeah. You're going to drill it in. I'm going to probably drill it in, and this comes threaded. So I'm going to just thread into there so we can just screw it in.
Makes sense.
And I will run some, obviously, thread sealer and stuff. Oh, and one more thing. Obviously, you get nuts, bolts, fittings, everything you need to mount it.
Pretty comprehensive kit.
It is really, you know, these kits do go like, I've seen them like 600 quid-ish online. And then that's obviously your fluid.
Wow.
So, which is when you mount it, you've got the stability of that so it doesn't vibrate.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So that, once again, that's another 2 of the wires.
Okay.
So it's not too scary, is it?
Main question is, do you know where we start?
In the boot.
Yeah, okay.
Well, basically, yeah, we're going to work our way from the back to the front, you know, employee of the month. But yeah, you do get a full instruction list with this. I've been through it a couple of times just to check what's what. It does look scary.
I'm proud of you. You usually just throw them away.
Yeah, I know. It does look scary, but I've been through it and it is quite simple.
Okay.
Famous last words. So let's get
now I think it's stopped raining. We'll open the boot and try and get in the boot then.
Let's have a little
nice.
Nice. I'd love it.
Yeah.
Just
open it. We haven't even opened the boot yet. Just
sorry.
have we? Just to see how. Nice.
We haven't adjusted.
Oh yeah, we have.
We forgot to tighten it.
Yeah, if you watch the previous video, we haven't actually sealed that down yet. Whew.
I know.
I jumped my chest on. I'm not gonna lie.
So yeah,
we literally haven't put it back together yet. We're doing 2 videos and
we're trying to get these 2 done because obviously we need content for you guys.
Yep. And I'm in work tomorrow. Hope you guys appreciate this. And I'm stood out in the rain. Once I'd stopped complaining, it was time to figure out where we could mount the pump and the tank. Kenny seemed to be struggling already.
I've never done this. Seriously, man, what the fuck is going on?
All the stuff we've done to cars, you can't even open a thing.
No, it doesn't open, it's lying to me.
Behind door number 1 was a lot of electrical stuff, so we chose to stay the heck away from there and see what was on the other side. This involved removing this plastic trim by the boot. You only work about 6 clips, well done.
That's right, I'm buying some Tiger Seals tomorrow.
They are designed to break. I don't care what anyone says. They are designed to ruin your day, those things. It's like watching a surgeon do his best work. Honestly, man, every time I see your work.
A surgeon uses a hammer.
We eventually figured out there wasn't anything too important behind door number 2, so we decided to mount the meth tank itself there. Luckily, like most modern cars, the Astra doesn't have a spare wheel. Stupid idea if you ask me, but hey. Luckily, this provided a great location to mount the pump.
So yeah, what they do state is that you've got to run the pump underneath the tank, and all of it is supposed to be below the line of the nozzle.
Oh, okay.
So it doesn't drop.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah. It's all got to be physics, bro.
Yeah, so we're going to mount, like I said to Drew now, we're going to make a couple of brackets.
Nice.
And basically mount it here.
We just had a thought as we're about to tear the car up. This is not actually Astra specific. This will apply to most vehicles.
Yeah.
It's just
you've got to
run.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're just routing slightly different. But yeah, you've got to run obviously wires to the back, and you've got to run piping from the back to the front.
Yeah.
So, yeah, same principle.
I heard some cracking noises, and I was like, Kenny's at it. So yeah, depends on where you want to route it. Obviously, we're gonna. You just start pulling the stuff and see what happens.
Yeah, it works, doesn't it?
It is a Vauxhall. Time for the scary part, the wiring. Trust me when I say this though, it looks worse than it is. We began by finding where we wanted to mount the control module. Kenny chose the glove box for subtlety. Ha! We then just separated the wires into groups. Wires going to the boot, wires going to the interior, and wires going to the engine bay. The 4 wires going to the boot are for the pump and the level sensor in the tank. The 2 interior wires were simply the ones powering the LED indicator. The rest went through to the engine bay. The positive and negative for the power went to the battery. We decided to put a power switch on this as well. Power and ground for the solenoid, the safety wire that runs to the ECU. We then had the hose for the Meth itself that runs from the tank in the boot to the nozzle under the bonnet, and the boost line that we teed off from the boost gauge feed. We used the old attaching the wire to a coat hanger method to feed the wires through the tricky bits, and as always it worked a treat. Then it was on to the tedious part of actually connecting the wires and connecting the hoses up. The wiring diagram was very clear and easy to read in fairness. Once all the big stuff was done, Kenny drilled a hole to mount the LED indicator, then drilled a hole in the dash to mount the power switch. Right, so first thing we're going to do is, put the switch, so that should...
Yeah, we've got a green flashy light.
The LEDs sort of come to life.
Yeah.
And gone up, that's good.
Red light, because we've got low fluid.
Oh, so it is working.
So, yeah, turn it off.
We can hear the pump. That's cool. Right. So,
Chuck this everywhere now.
To test the system, we put some water in the tank, crossed our fingers and toes. We then fitted the nozzle onto the hose and began test mode. Air coming through, so... Okay. Whoa! Yeah, there she goes! That's mad. That's the Meth kit installed!
Yes.
Now, but obviously, it seems to be working as it should. The only way we're really going to know is when we get it on the dyno and Ped starts mapping it, then you can either shout at us or shake our hands when we find out if it's working or not.
Yeah, there is something called a solenoid you can buy from AEM, which I am going to add because it, do you know why we're waiting for it to purge?
Yeah.
Actually, what it does is controls where it actually holds the fluid. So it's like sort of stops it backing up and coming out, and so I will be getting that. It's another 120 odd quid.
Jesus.
But it's safety for this again.
And it makes sense. It'll be spraying exactly when you wanted to spray them.
Yeah, that's where the brown wire, which we fed through, that's where that goes. It goes to that solenoid. So this is the day after actually we installed it. I've managed to get hold of a water meth solenoid from one of the boys local to me, Damien. Massive thanks to him. Everything's now plumbed in as it should be. I did tidy the wires up, sort everything out there so it's nice and neat. There's the little solenoid. I've tried threading it. It doesn't feel the best, and I know obviously Boost probably going to push it out, so I've contacted someone about possibly having the titanium pipe made instead with an attachment on it for that nozzle. Yep, everything's all nice and neat and tidy. It all works as it should. There's the nice tank, lovely and secure, and I've actually fitted the pump underneath this seating, just under there. As I say, luckily everything's safe, was, till I got hold of it. And I have wired the switch now to the ignition. It was permanent, but I wasn't really fussed on that. So there's the nice little switch, nice and neat. So put your ignition on, and arm the system. Little light comes on to indicate. So yeah, nice and neat. But the green wire, as we said, on an Astra VXR, do you guys know which is the boost cut? So if you can tell us which wire is the boost cut, we can wire that up.
Yeah, because that's...
It's a safety feature, like I said. If it runs out of meth, I don't want to go bang.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's something we've never done before, and believe me, if we can do it, you can do it. The kit is a very, what's the word?
Intuitive? No.
What's the... It's just been a very long day. It's a very good kit. It's everything you need.
It's step-by-step instructions. The wiring looks scary.
Yeah, but the diagram they send is simple. But what I would do is, when you look at anything, 10 wires is scary, but when you break it down, like per wire almost, it gets a lot easier. And just take it does take a good few hours, but if you're thinking of doing it, just do it. It's not the end of the... It's not a lot of cutting or anything like that.
No, there's not. It's just plumbing, taking the time, because I messed up a few times rushing, didn't I?
Yeah, because like I say, it's been a long day. We've done a few things.
Yes, we have.
But yeah, that's...
So yeah, stay tuned for the mapping on this.
I was just going to say, we're after a bigger intercooler, and then it can go off a map, and then we'll see what differences the cooling actually makes.
Yeah, this is it.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you in the next one.
Meth heads!
Yeah, let's do meth, man.